Hey, you murder phoniacs. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Liked it.
A
lot.
I like you.
I love you.
I love you. Yeah.
We need a lot of love, don't we?
Oh,
yeah.
Yes, it's been rough.
Yeah.
It has. But that's just this journey of life, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Gosh.
Tough. Very tough.
It's like things go great, but then it comes in waves.
Yeah.
The shit hits you.
Yeah. You've been pretty good, though.
I have.
Given all the things that have happened, your depression has been under control lately.
It has.
I love it.
I love you. All right. Let's get this going here.
All right.
All right, everybody. As you know, I'm Tony Ciaglia, the serial killer whisperer. Right here. Named after my book. And I was really promoting this book in the last episode. I hope maybe at least one of you went out and got it, checked it out. It's a great read. It's darkness, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like you can't imagine. So.
I think they can.
Yeah, if they're murder phoniacs, they can.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So today, we're going to expose the raw truth of hell's timeline. Official records will tell you that Fred Waterfield and his cousin David Gore didn't begin their killing spree until 1981. Oh, sure. Yeah, that's the nice, neat, tidy story. The one the system wants you to fucking believe. But the truth? Not quite. The truth is darker, uglier, and it begins way before that. We're taking you all the way back to 1973, the point where two illiterate, redneck fucking hillbilly hick motherfucking cousins, bound by blood and twisted by fantasies, were already setting the stage for what would become a carnival of rape, torture, and murder. And here's the disturbing reality. They should have been stopped, you guys. In 1976, Angela Hommell was brutally raped by David Gore and Freddie Waterfield. She survived to tell her story. But guess what? Justice turned its back, like they've done so many times before. From that moment forward, it was open season for 7 more years. Young women would be hunted like prey and slaughtered in ways that define comprehension. This isn't just a timeline, ladies and gentlemen. This is a roadmap of your worst horror movie. Beyond. Hollywood can't even capture this shit.
You're right.
Yeah, a journey that winds from 1973 to 1983. 10 years of opportunities squandered, warnings ignored, and lives destroyed. And as we walk you through this decade of murder, you'll see just how many times the so-called guardians of justice could have stopped these motherfuckers, but didn't. By the time Gore and Waterfield were finally caught, the ground was already soaked with the blood of the fucking innocent. And what you're about to hear will not only shock you, but disturb you to the very core. So buckle up. The timeline from hell begins now. With me, and that guy right over there. My dad, my best friend, my co-host, my main caretaker, my father.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thank you very much.
The Coxman.
I was waiting for that.
Uh-huh. Coming at you.
The Coxman.
Yes.
To your people about that. Aren't you a little old for that? I said, ask my son.
Exactly. No, all you got to
Right?
say is, I still throw it out there.
I don't. All right. All right. Thank you, Tone.
You're welcome.
You know, every monster out there leaves behind a signature. Oh, yeah. A signature. Something twisted, something that's unmistakable. For Hillbilly 1, Freddie Waterfield, it wasn't just the violence, and it wasn't just the rape or the torture or the lifelong scars that he carved into people unlucky enough to cross his path. No, it was none of those things. It was laughter. Think about that. Laughter.
Maniacal.
Go all the way back, 1973. A 15-year-old neighbor endured the unthinkable. Fred raped her, and she was scared, so she never went to the police.
God, that's some balls, isn't it?
Oh,
The
yeah.
narcissism
Oh, yeah.
to rape your next door neighbor's daughter. He was probably friends with the father.
Probably.
Yeah, exactly.
And she was scared to death.
And she didn't say a thing.
Nope.
Wow.
But she remembered. She remembered how he laughed. And in the letter to Tony, she described it. And I think it's worth repeating. I know we already talked about it, but I think part of this is worth repeating because it really sums up his sickness. This person, this is the letter, this person who I thought was my neighbor, my friend, was a monster. Imagine, if you will, this. He was laughing. He was laughing his head off hysterically, like a maniac, the entire time he raped me. Let me ask you, what kind of a sicko do you have to be to steal a child's innocence and then laugh the whole time while you're doing it? I know the look on my face had to have been a look of total and complete devastation in my spirit, in my very essence of who I was. The death of a girl who would never be the same again. Yeah, he laughed. And then came the letters that Gore himself wrote to Tony, describing Hillbilly 1 in his own words, his cousin, Freddie. Gore wrote in a letter that was dated June 2008. Probably no one on the face of this earth knows Fred's true colors more than I do. The prosecutor during my trial called Freddie Dr. Frankenstein and referred to me as his monster. And I suppose that's not far off. Now with Fred, he loved them young and innocent. He loved the tight ones. And he always said that the best for him was tearing open a virgin. He used to laugh. He used to laugh the whole time he was doing it. And Angela Hommell, you're all familiar with her by now, said he laughed like a maniac while he was raping her. This sick fuck, man. He laughed like a maniac. Don't just believe me. Let's listen to her description of it.
Then Fred laughed hysterically. He was on top of me. It was this weird laugh. It wasn't almost like, it was inhumane laugh. It was like he'd gone crazy. You know, like when somebody goes totally insane.
Yes.
It's chilling, isn't it? It's sickening. It's a roadmap that began in 1973 and only got darker every year that followed.
In 1973 was just the spark, the laughter of Fred Waterfield, echoing through his 15-year-old neighbor's memory while he raped her. What a fucking worm.
Isn't he?
No. He's a parasite on a fucking worm.
Yeah. Good description.
And that's going to burn in her memory forever.
I know.
But the fire started in 1974. That's when David Gore crossed the line from predator to killer. In his own words, letters he sent me, he laid it out in sickening detail, like a hunter bragging about his kill. He told me how he stalked out the woman's home, studying her routine, waiting for the right moment, cold, calculated. And when the time came, he knocked on her door with a smile, wearing the mask of a homeless beekeeper.
No, harmless. You have to go back.
Okay, I'm going to go back.
He might have been homeless, that piece of shit.
Waiting for the right moment, cold, calculated. And when the time came, he knocked on her door with a smile, wearing the mask of a harmless beekeeper, just doing his job. But once inside, the mask slipped, and what replaced it was pure evil. He described the murder without a flicker of remorse, without a shred of humanity. Just the facts, like he was telling me how he fixed a car or how he mowed his neighbor's yard. This wasn't passion. This wasn't rage. This was method. This was the rehearsal of a madman. And it marked what would become a flood of killings, many of which should never have happened. The year is 1976, and Angela Hommell was 19 years old when she told the truth. She had been raped. She named her attackers David Gore and Fred Waterfield. She begged to be believed, but instead of protecting her, the system turned its fucking back. They called Gore and Waterfield good boys. They said she was lying. Just listen to her.
And that's where my rights got violated again. So sometimes I don't know what was worse. My physical rape, which I never really got counseling for, or the torment by those dirty SOB cops. If anybody, in Germany, the cops are your friends and helpers. Here, they got in my face. They tortured me literally, screaming at me, yelling at me, trying to tell me that I was lying. I made this up. And then they tried to tell me, well, maybe you got this confused. Maybe it was a black guy. Are you sure it wasn't a black guy that raped you? And I said, no, it wasn't. It was Fred Waterfield. And then they said I needed to get a lie detector test. And I said, yeah, and I will prove I'm not lying. Well, and then he started to ask me questions, and his voice, it was like almost like when you scold a child, like when somebody's mad, and stupid questions he asked. And I said, say to him, can't you look at me when you talk to me? He said, no, don't tell me how to do this test. Then afterwards, they said, we knew you've been lying all along. You flunked the lie detector test. So if you don't want to get deported to Germany, if you want to stay in this country, and if you don't want to ever, where you cannot come back into this country, you just better count your blessings and sit with accusing those nice guys of rape.
It all could have ended with Angela. She was the warning the world refused to hear. She walked into a police station believing in justice and walked out betrayed. They strapped her to a polygraph like she was the criminal. They told her she flunked. They threatened her with prison. Unbelievable. They even tried to twist her story into something else, asking if maybe her attackers, are you sure it wasn't a black man?
Unbelievable, huh?
Unbelievable. Angela, broken but brave, kept saying their names, Fred Waterfield and David Gore. But the cops didn't want to listen. Why? Because Gore's uncle wore a badge? The fox, people. The fox wasn't guarding the hen house, was he? He was writing the fucking report. Angela didn't find that out until many, many, many years later, when her ex-husband, Bob, called her and she asked about the rape.
Told me he called me like 4 or 5 years ago, and I asked him about the rape, and he said, "You can't pin it on me. Their uncle was the sheriff. Don't you know their uncle was the sheriff?" I said, "What? I never knew that before. I should have found this out like 4 or 5 years ago."
David's uncle was the sheriff?
Was a deputy sheriff there? Yes.
Wow.
So the predators, they walked free. And the next 7 years would be a blood-soaked nightmare. Freddie Waterfield, the man who liked to get his dibs in first. David, you get to go second so you can spend time with your catch. And then, David, while I'm trying to get an alibi, I want you to be the butcher. And that's what David did. He listened. He listened like a fucking dog.
Frankenstein's monster.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. That
Yeah.
prosecutor was right.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Cutting those girls up, putting
Yeah.
them all in barrels, burying them.
Yeah.
Everybody, Angela Hommell. She's amazing.
Yes, she is.
She survived the cousins. But the real question is, did she ever really survive the police?
Not really, huh?
No.
All right, now we're going to go into the timeline that we call Hell's Timeline. This covers 1976 to 1981. So Angela Hommell was the first warning shot, you guys. 19 years old, raped in the Groves, and silenced by the system. She begged to be believed, but the sheriff's office just brushed her off. And once Gore and Waterfield saw that, they knew in their hearts, in their sick, twisted, hillbilly fucking minds, they could do whatever they want.
Open season.
Open season. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Open season. And the bloodletting, it began almost immediately. We're going to go to June 22nd, 1976. This is just a month before Angela, okay? Diane Sullivan Smalley was driving on a quiet Florida road when her tires were shot out. Think of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Gore and Waterfield forced her into their car. So imagine that in a small town. Everybody thought they were safe. But these two monsters, they strike like it's nothing. It's no big deal. Let's shoot her. They're like fucking maniacs. We could do whatever we want. And Angela hadn't even happened. These two fucking idiots. Shoot her tires out, grab her, force her into the car. But Diane, they say she was lucky. I don't think she was lucky. She fought like hell. She fought like she knew her life depended on it. And she broke away from them just as an old couple pulled up. And they actually let her in their car and drove away. Where did they drive her to? The police station. She went right to the police. And guess what? Anybody that's listening or has listened, I think they could guess. Nothing happened. You know what the police said? It was a fucking prank. They're good boys. They're just playing a prank. It's not a big deal. Nobody got hurt. Nothing to it. A prank. Another fucking red flag just tossed aside by the police. So just think, 1 month later, almost to the day, July 26th, 1976, they did their little shit with Diane, June 22nd. So almost to the day, Angela was raped. And you already know the tragic outcome of that fucking story. I don't have to repeat it again. That's why we're doing this season. From 1976 to 1980, the cousins unleashed hell. These are years of official records that were never mentioned. Nothing was mentioned during those years. But we're going to fucking mention them, aren't we?
Fuck yeah.
Okay, October, November 1976. Young, beautiful, blonde. Her name was Missy, just a teenager, 15 years old. The cops called her a runaway. in late 76. Missy wasn't. She was butchered inside Gore's house, butchered inside the house he lived in, butchered in the house that he lived alone in now because he was divorced.
Why would somebody want to divorce David Gore?
I don't know. I've asked myself that many times.
Not once, but twice.
But twice. In his cold case confession to Tony, Gore described it. Waterfield was laughing while he raped her. He took her virginity like it was some kind of a sick joke. Gore, in very disturbing and specific detail, told the horrible things he did to this poor 15-year-old girl. And Missy, she wasn't the only one. Gore later bragged that he and Fred committed at least 30 murders during those lost years. 30. But he claimed he could only remember probably enough detail about 12 murders that he was willing to talk about, that he felt could be solved. 12 out of 30. 12 faces out of 30. The rest, swallowed by the orange groves forever. And then came the twist that should freeze your blood.
They made David Gore an auxiliary sheriff 2 years after my rape.
In 1978, you heard Angela say it, David Gore, hillbilly, rapist, butcher, sadist, serial killer, sworn in as an auxiliary sheriff to the Vero Beach Department, Indian River County. Man, the wolf wasn't just in the hen house. The fucking wolf even had a badge now.
Oh.
Bianchi. Oh,
Bianchi.
The badge now. Now he's a cop.
Yeah, Gacy. He had a badge.
Yeah, God. Just, so did Bundy.
Bundy had a badge.
Oh, yeah. He had a fake badge.
Mm-hmm.
He was a fireman, too. He was best friends. We didn't even go into that this season because, you know.
It's in the first season.
It's in the first season. But he was very good friends with Ted Bundy while they were in prison.
You see,
how's
Dad,
that for a two-team parlay?
A lot of people, says David Gore to me, a lot of people, you don't realize how nice of a guy Ted Bundy is.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Uh-huh.
Oh. Okay. He's got his badge. April 1980. The nightmare didn't fade, folks. It escalated. Gore, another cold case confession. He confessed to murdering Rose Two Trees. You heard it, I think it was last episode. Another name, another broken life, another victim to brag about, as if they were nothing more than trophies from a hunt. But what were they trophies of?
Hair on my wall.
Oh, man. You know what? We have to laugh at this, don't we?
Oh,
we have to laugh at this. Think about
to.
that. That was pretty good.
Did you like that?
Are you hillbilly?
No. When you're done, though, I got something to say about that.
Let's say it.
Huh?
Want to say it?
Well, no, I'll say it
all right.
When you're done reading.
Okay. September 1980. Now remember, folks, he's got his badge. September 1980, Dana Sturgis, just 18 years old, was stopped by Deputy Gore. Step out of the car, please.
Great movie.
You knew that.
Yeah.
All right.
No Country for Old Men.
Yes, sir. Step out of the car, please. He tried to abduct her. Right there on the roadside. He was doing some shit. Some fishermen were nearby, thank God. They saw what was happening. They stepped in. And Dana, did she run away scared and never say a word? No. Dana went right home, told her parents. What did her parents do? They took her to the police station.
Because that's where you're supposed to go.
They went to the police station. And they said this so-called lawman with his badge was acting really bizarre with my daughter. He was saying and doing some really, really strange things. And what happened? Nothing. Not a fucking thing. Just some whispers. Just a little paperwork. We should write them up. And then Gore quietly, are you ready, folks? Resigned in July of 1981 amid an internal affairs investigation. How would you like to see that investigation? With all the shit that we know was going on. It must have been a real thorough investigation, right? But by then, Hillbilly 1 and Hillbilly 2 had already painted the groves red. But the system, it looked away. They ignored the red flags. So the killing never stopped. It never stopped. And the timeline from hell just kept rolling along. What do you want to say?
Well, I want to say that, see, now I didn't know this.
Yeah.
It's like my girlfriend.
Oh, fuck.
She told me, you know what I mean? She's a hillbilly. That's the bottom line. You know, she's from some little podunk fucking town in Oklahoma.
Jeez.
And
I'm sorry.
And I called her like a hillbilly or like a redneck.
You do?
And stuff. Yeah, but see, that's okay. She really gets pissed off, and she told me, hick? Those are fighting words.
What?
Like in small towns, like if you call somebody
like
a hick.
You're a hick?
Yeah. Redneck's okay.
Hillbilly okay?
I guess.
Hick is short for hillbilly.
Oh, it is?
So you mean next time I see your girl, if I call her a hick, she might punch me in the face?
Because those are fighting words.
It's fighting words.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But just the other night, we're laying there in bed, just looking at the ceiling.
Yeah.
We're holding hands. It was a nice moment. We just watched a good movie.
Uh-huh.
And we're sitting there. We're laying there. Just about ready to go to bed. And I say, baby, tell me about you. Like when you were in middle school, like when you were 15, 16. And she said, you don't really want to know? And I said, yeah, let me know. What? She goes, well, you see, I had a window in my bedroom, a window, and I used to stare at that window and just wish some fucking guy, any guy, would just come in and fucking rape me.
Oh, stop.
Yes, she said that I just wanted to give it to anybody. I just wanted to.
I don't want to be around.
No, she didn't.
Oh, God.
She did not.
Tell her not to watch this one.
She's claims though. I mean, that never happened, you know. But
you think it did, and now you use it on the podcast. Nice.
What's a way to be famous? I guess for her.
What'd she think of Hillbilly 1 and Hillbilly 2? She ever see anybody like them?
No.
Oh
yeah, some people in her fucking family.
Is that where you learned how to do that?
No. You know where I got that?
Where?
I got that off of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
That's right.
You remember that guy?
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Well, and he says something like,
Yeah.
My sister, her first baby come out sideways.
Yeah.
She didn't scream or nothing.
Never even cried.
Mm-hmm.
They might sign you up.
Yeah.
You're up, I think.
Mm.
Yeah. You're up.
Sign me up for what? Huh?
I don't know.
Huh?
One flew over the cuckoo's nest. All right.
You like that though?
Yeah.
When I was 15, I used to look at that window and just hope somebody would come in and just take me.
You are sick.
They could have it.
I hope if her mother ever listens, knows that you're just fucking crazy.
Yeah, but her mom stays away from this.
Does she?
She does.
Smart woman.
Yeah.
All right.
Gosh. All right. The official story says the killing began in 1981. Oh, I guess that's the neat, nice, tidy little package that they want you to believe.
Right?
The system wants to hand you that in a little box with a bow on it. A timeline that starts clean, orderly, almost digestible. But we know better,
Oh, yeah.
and you know better.
Yeah.
Yes, you fucking know better, and we know better. Don't we, murder phoniacs? I mean, come on. We're practically on a first-name basis now. We know the slaughter began years earlier. Missy, Rose, and others already buried in the shadows of Vero Beach. 48-year-old Sing Wan Ling and her 17-year-old daughter, Ying Yu Ling, were kidnapped, raped, and murdered in front of each other, right?
It was just terrible.
That's hard to digest. In front of each other. In the record books, they are listed as Gore and Waterfield's first victims.
Not.
Borat. Borat. I just watched that recently.
Yes, you did.
Not. That's a fucking lie, though. They were not Gore and Waterfield's first victims. They were just the first the system bothered to count. Well, we're not going to count them other ones. I think we're just going to start here with the Asian ladies.
Okay, Scott. Show photos number 11 and 12 while Tony talks.
July 15th, 1981. 2 days before he resigned as an auxiliary sheriff. I love it. Like he had this big position, right? Before he resigned, stepped down. David Gore kidnapped Judith K. Daly at Round Island Beach. On our YouTube channel, Murder Phoniacs, there is a picture of me at Round Island Beach back in 2010. There is also a video of me at the beach nude surfing.
It was him.
With my hit girlfriend. Just
Dumb. You were. The video was of you talking. Right, that was right where she was grabbed by that piece of shit.
Remember though, there was nobody there.
No, it was desolate.
Desolate.
Totally. They'll see that on the video.
And it was probably that way when Judith K. Daly was there.
I'm sure it was.
So they could move in and do what demons do. In a letter to me, he bragged about it. He wrote about handcuffing her to a car door and parading her through town like she was a trophy. Of course, he called Freddie, and he raced out to their trailer to get his turn.
Oh, God.
But he got it first. You know he got it first.
Dibs.
Because you see, my cousin Freddie, he liked that. He liked to get it first. They took turns raping her, much like they did with Angela Hommell. Then they murdered her, and the butcher took over, cut her up, and fed her to the gators.
Could I say something? It must have been one hell of an internal affairs investigation. Didn't you say that 2 days before he resigned, in the midst of this investigation, he had Judith K. Daly handcuffed in his car and drove her through town? Must have been a real thorough investigation.
There you go. I like that accent.
Thorough.
Exactly.
It's thorough.
Just like there's a window. There's a window up there, and there's a man climbing through the window, and he's just going to take me. July 31st, 1981. 2 weeks later, Gore targeted 23-year-old Marilyn Holland Owen. Police found him in the back seat of her car. This is my favorite one. I love this. Police found him in the back seat of her car without a shirt on, with a 357 revolver, a police scanner. Now this tops it off. And a jar of vodka. Now that's a fucking predator's cool toolkit, if I've ever seen one before.
Yes, it is.
Yes. And the fact that he was shirtless.
Oh.
That's hot. That's hot.
The picture's hot. No, it isn't. The picture that's on YouTube right now showing him.
Oh. He looks like a demon.
Yeah, he does.
Yes.
He does.
Now that's real normal behavior, right, Dad, for an auxiliary sheriff.
Right?
Yes.
Get that badge out.
Especially for someone that had been accused of rape by Angela Hommell, was a suspect in the disappearance of Judy K. Daly, was fingered by Diane Smalley and Dana Sturgis for weird behavior. And now fucking this?
And you know who caught him? It's not here. You know who caught him? A cop. A cop came out of a store and saw him in the back seat without the shirt on. He's there with the fucking jar. Middle of the day.
Uh-huh. Do we know what he said?
I wonder if he flashed his badge to the...
Do we know what he said?
No, I don't. I have no idea.
Uh-huh.
Where am I?
Man. Okay, guys. So they arrested his ass, right? They arrested him. And what did the system do? They gave him mercy. I'll give him mercy. He never gave his victims mercy.
No.
No.
Not even a little bit.
He was sentenced to 5 years. $5 Yeah. But he only served 18 months. From July of 1981 until March 15th, 1983, Gore sat behind bars. But prisons aren't cages for monsters like him. They're just pit stops. And when the door swung open, he went right back to killing.
Could I say something?
I love it.
Think about this. He slipped through the cracks again. How many times? Look at all the things they were looking at him for. The complaints. And if anybody had any brains, they would have went back to Angela Hommell's complaint. But just the recent complaints. And I know the family of Judith K. Daley was screaming at the police. And David Gore did this. Look at David Gore.
And it's not like this is New York fucking city.
Right.
This is a tiny little
Vero
fucking town.
Beach.
Yes.
It's unbelievable. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's a beach community.
Yeah. Hey, man. Hey, man, come on over here. Smoke a little weed.
Yeah.
Right?
Give me a hit of that reefer.
Man.
Give me a fucking hit of that. Fuck. Give me a fucking hit. You know, it reminds me of The Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
And Lebowski, stay out of my beach community.
He threw the cup at him.
Yeah. Fascist. March 20th, 1983. Barbara Ann Byer and Angelica Lavallee. Both just 14 years old. Hitchhiking. Innocent. Vulnerable. Just the right kind of prey for these two assholes.
Yeah.
This is part of the letter describing how they picked up these two innocent, beautiful little girls. It will give you a good idea what lengths these two monsters would go in order to find a victim. This is just a partial letter, you guys, because the full letter it's very long and, well, I'll tell you a little more about it in a bit. This is the letter dated July 11th, 2008. I don't know if I ever shared with you about two of my victims, Barbara Byers and Angela. I forgot her last name. I actually got 2 life sentences for their deaths. I pled guilty to them. They were 2 that Fred and I picked up hitchhiking on I-95. They were actually running away from home. So we knew no one would ever know. Fred and I had taken the van he had. Redneck. Right?
Yeah.
Fucking picture it. All right? Wait a second. Okay. It was one of those Ecnoline vans.
Is that the hillbilly pronunciation? It is, isn't it?
Yeah. Ecnoline vans.
It's not Econoline, right? It's Ecno. I love that.
I did that?
That's awesome. Sorry.
Ecnoline vans, and it had a bed in the back and carpet. We left Vero around 6 p.m. We cruised and hunted our way all the way up to Daytona. We were mainly hunting for hitchhikers or a woman by herself in a car. By 10 p.m., we had not had any luck. So Fred suggested we head to Orlando to cruise the strip there. So we did, and by 11:30, 12, we still hadn't found anything we could get. So we just decided to call it a night and head home. Excuse me. I got something in my throat. Excuse me. It was about a 2.5-hour drive. We were probably halfway home, like 1 a.m, when all of a sudden we see these 2 chicks. No, you didn't. The definition of chicks is a woman. These were 2 little kids.
Yeah. 14, right?
14. We see these 2 chicks on the side of the road hitchhiking. Fred and I looked at each other and we said at the same time, "Let's get 'em." I had the gun and Freddie was driving. So we stopped and opened the side door to the van to let them in. They hopped in and both sat on the cooler as we took off. They told us they was running away and heading to Fort Lauderdale. As soon as I see the coast is clear, I pull my gun. And I reach around between the seats. And I pointed at them and tell them to not try anything or I will shoot.
Just a minute. Just a minute. The big man.
Deputy.
Don't try anything. They're 14 years old, or I'll shoot. You fuck. You fucking fat hillbilly, smelly piece of shit.
Every time you read this.
Oh, I just wished I could have been in the car with a gun.
Uh-huh.
You mean like this? Boom. Fucker. God.
Oh, yeah.
Big man, huh?
Big.
Like Missy, I had her. I got her good around the throat. Sorry.
I went to get back there with them to tie him up real good. And as I was climbing back, Fred said for me not to take their clothes off, to let him have first dibs.
Oh.
So I forced them face down on the floor of the van, and I took some rope we had, and I tied their wrists behind their backs. Then I told them if they tried anything, we wouldn't hesitate to shoot them.
There he goes again.
Mm-hmm.
Tied them behind their backs. 14.
Mm-hmm.
Weighed about 100 pounds.
Like one of them was going to turn into Steven fucking Seagal,
try
right?
something. I'll shoot you.
Mm-hmm.
God.
I got back up front, and as soon as it was clear, Fred pulled over. I got in the driver's seat to drive, and Fred got in the back with the girls. I couldn't really see what he was doing, but I could hear the clothes being torn. So I knew he was stripping them and doing what Freddie does.
Did you?
Mm. Gore and Waterfield picked them up, raped them, and murdered them. 2 children with their whole lives ahead of them that didn't have to die were chopped up and buried by the butcher. Angelica's body was never found. The description of the rape and murder of these two 14-year-old girls was so disgusting that we have no doubt that this is what really strapped that motherfucking redneck hillbilly to the gurney, tapped his fucking vein, and shot that battery acid into him.
So now it's July 26, 1983. That's that date again, folks. We talked about it. 7 years exactly to the day that they raped Angela Hommell. 7 years to the day. That's a little fucking karma, huh? 17-year-old Lynn Elliott and her 14-year-old friend, Reagan Martin, were picked up and taken to Gore's parents' home. The parents were out of town. That house became a torture chamber, and Fred and David took turns raping the young girls. It's interesting, because every article, when you read back then, Freddie left before the rape started. That was the story back then.
Was it?
Yeah, and he would have walked. He would have walked. Because David shot Lynn, and he just knew that David was going to kill Reagan.
Uh-huh.
He was scot-free. He was gone.
Gosh.
And even in the articles, they talk about it. David Gore was raping. That was all they talked about until Reagan Martin testified.
Is that because it's a fucking corrupt paper?
No, I don't know. These were the local papers.
Yeah,
and
but
stuff.
Freddie's family,
Well,
they
that's
held a
true.
lot of clout in that
That's true.
that town.
And they did. They rushed and got that. I can't even say it the way you say it.
Ecoline. I can't.
Echnoline.
Echnoline.
Van. They got it.
Echnoline.
Remember we talked about it. Everybody knows.
Uh-huh.
They went and cleaned that fucking van.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll get back to the script here. The house became a torture chamber, and Fred and David took turns raping the young girls. But Lynn fought back. She ran, and she almost made it. Until Gore chased her down and shot her in broad daylight. She fell. He picked her up. She tried to break away, and he shot her in the head. Twice.
He ran after her naked, right?
Naked,
Wasn't he naked?
Yeah, he was naked.
Mhm.
That must have been a sight.
Yeah.
This time, though, somebody was watching. A little boy, a little neighborhood boy was riding by on his bike, and he saw the whole thing. He saw him chase her. He saw him pick her up. He saw him shoot her. And when she collapsed, he raced home, and he told his mom. And she immediately called police. And for the first time in 10 years, the police actually arrived in time to save someone. Reagan Martin, 14 years old, traumatized. She'd been raped and brutalized, but she was alive.
But the police were like, when they got that call, no, it can't be David Gore. It can't be. Or, oh no, it was, the kid didn't know it was David Gore.
No.
Yeah.
It was Gore's house,
Uh-huh.
his parents' house.
At one time, I remember I heard 2 shots, but it sounded like a little pellet gun or something.
Okay. Was that when you were in the closet?
I think I was still in the room then,
Okay.
but I wasn't sure. I thought maybe it was just some kid with a BB gun.
That was while he was gone and went left your bedroom and you were in there by yourself and you heard two shots of some kind.
Yeah. the phone was ringing a lot, and he didn't answer it. And then someone was pounding on the door. And then some guy was screaming, he said, "David, come out here, it's Lonnie." And he kept saying, "Come out here." And then that's when David climbed up there with me and he covered it up. He told me, he said, "I have a knife right here."
Did you see the knife? Did you feel it? Did he stick it to your side or your arm?
No, because I was laying flat down and I couldn't see anything.
Pretty dark up there.
And hot. And then he said, "Don't make any sound." And he wouldn't let me move. And my wrists fell asleep because the handcuffs were too tight. And I couldn't keep my legs up. And I asked him if I could put my legs down. He said no. And then I started to. And he grabbed my leg and said, "Stop moving. Because if you make one sound, then I'm going to kill you right now." He said, "If I go, then you're going too."
Was he laying down next to you? Yeah.
Well, there was a hole in the attic, a hole in the roof to get out, and I was like lying right there because he just threw me in there. And then he was sitting down like next to the hole like that, and I was like right there.
Hey, what do you remember happening after that?
Everyone kept, telling him to come out, and he was up there for about 45 minutes with me. He wouldn't do anything, and then finally someone else got, like his aunt or his mom or something, got on the phone and told him to come out. They said, "Well, your sister's out here crying." And then he says, "I'm coming out."
Did he have a towel up there in the attic with him?
But one of the cops gave it to me. He gave me a towel after.
So he told you that he was going out?
He didn't tell me. He just yelled that he was coming out.
Okay, he opened up the wall and went down. Did he say anything to you when he left?
Nothing. He just left me there. And then...
Did he cover the attic back up, put the board back on?
No. And then I untied my feet because I could move my hands behind my back. They were right there and I just untied them. And then I turned over and I was looking down and I saw the door move. And then I said, "Is someone there?" And then someone came in the room and they put the gun up in the attic. And then I started yelling and I told them to get the gun away from me. And then one of the cops went in the attic and he gave me a towel and then he undid my handcuffs and gave me some clothes that were in the closet to put on, and then they brought me down.
And just like that, the nightmare ended. After a decade of horror, David Gore, Hillbilly 1.
Hillbilly 2.
I'm sorry, I stand corrected. Fred Waterfield, Hillbilly 1.
David Gore, Hillbilly 2.
Thank you, the butcher. Were finally arrested, and the timeline from hell had closed down. But you have to ask yourself, how many fucking lives could have been saved if these victims had been believed? Diane Smalley escaped in June 1976 and reported it. Nothing. Angela Hommell was raped, had a rape kit, proved she was raped, screamed for help in July of 1976. They didn't believe her. They gave her a lie detector test, said it was consensual. Missy, written off as a runaway, a young, beautiful 15-year-old girl. Runaway. No. In October 1976, she wasn't a runaway. She was slaughtered in Gore's house. Dana Sturgis almost became a corpse in July 1980. She got stopped by the auxiliary sheriff, David Gore. But thankfully she was saved, told her parents, they reported it. Fucking crickets from the police. Nothing. Gore was caught drunk with a gun. a jar of vodka, a police scanner, a predator's kit in the backseat of Marilyn Holland Owens' car.
Shirtless.
July 1981. During that time, he was under investigation. He had been accused of things. They thought he was involved in Judy K. Daly's. What happened? They gave him 5 years. He was out in 18 months. And the two poor girls that were 14 hitchhiking happened to run into the monsters. The system, they had the chance after chance after chance to stop these monsters. But instead of stopping them, they handed one of the animals a badge. A fucking badge.
Shit.
That's not failure, folks. That's complicity. Angela Hommell's nightmare didn't end in that orange grove back in 1976. Back then, the fucking system, they didn't believe her. Consensual. These are good boys. You keep talking your shit, you going back to Germany, bitch. So you shut your mouth, you go home, and you act like a good wife to these good boys.
Oh, I love it.
And they walked free. They raped, they tortured her, they cut her, and they walked free. And that was in 1976. And that disbelief, and was it disbelief or was it just fixed? Was it just because of the uncle? I wonder what he was like. They walked free.
That was your rant for the day.
Well, I'll tell you
You
what,
threw a little accent.
I could keep going.
God, you threw some fucking accent in there. Fucking great. I'm wondering,
Yeah.
Freddie, at his trial, I mean, was it hook, line, and sinker? They knew they had this motherfucker,
No.
put him in prison? Or, I mean, was it a
No.
good fight? He fought.
Yeah, not Freddie. They didn't. David,
Mm-hmm.
they had him. They had him for Lynn Elliott, and then he confessed to 5 other ones.
Mm-hmm.
He tried to confess to the ones he talked to you about. They weren't interested.
Uh-huh.
But Freddie set it up, man. He set himself up an alibi. So they tried them separately if it wasn't for Reagan. And then they found even with Reagan, it would have only been rape, right?
Well, how did he get life then?
Because he fucked up. He bought gas right where they picked up
Yes.
Barbara Byer and Angela Lavallee. I can remember her last name.
Yeah. David. I don't remember her last
Piece of
name.
shit. But anyway, that good police work. They got the receipt. Freddie had signed it, and that's signed 2 life terms. He got 2 life terms.
That's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's fucking great. All right, fast forward to 1983. Gore and Waterfield are finally arrested. This time for 6, count them, fucking 6 brutal murders. And now suddenly, Angela Hommell is useful. She was subpoenaed, forced to travel from Colorado back to Florida, not once, but twice, to testify in separate trials for Hillbilly 1, Hillbilly 2. She had to sit in a courtroom staring at the faces of the men who had brutally raped and tortured her. And right there in that courtroom, Fred Waterfield threatened her. You believe that? That motherfucker, he had the audacity, he had the fucking cojones, he had the fucking balls to threaten her in court? Fuck him.
When you saw Fred Waterfield in court, did he say anything to you?
Yes, he did. I have to walk past him, and he said, I'm going to get you.
Oh,
I'm going to get you.
Think about that. A victim called back years later to help convict the very monsters the system refused to stop the first time around. And still, this piece of fucking human garbage tries to silence her by threatening her? Angela has carried that truth her entire life. And even after everything, she never supported the death penalty. She did not want David Gore executed. Whoa, she's a lot nicer than me, Dad. Fuck that cocksucker, I swear. Cut his fucking dick off, cut his fucking balls off, and let her feed it to him. That's how I feel. And then run 2,000 bolts of electricity right through his fucking body till his head sets fire. That's how I feel. All right? You get it? But on April 12th, 2012, the day he was put to death, Angela received a letter of apology from Gore himself. A final word to the woman that survived him. I don't know about that letter.
Let's hear Angela read the letter.
what did he say?
He said, I do pray this letter will find you doing well and in the best of spirits. I have wanted to write to you ever since I received your letter. And I wanted to thank you so much for writing and for all you said, because my pastor said I have to write him a letter for forgiveness.
Right.
First of all, I wanted to express to you my deepest regrets and apology for what happened to you the night my cousin Fred came to get me. You certainly did not deserve what him and I both put you through. And everything you described in your letter to me was exactly what happened. And for my part, please forgive me. I truly can say I'm not the same person I was back then. 20 years ago, I accepted Christ as my Savior, and I have been a Christian since. I have truly made my share of mistakes in my Christian walk with God. But I know God prayers and He restores. God forgives and He restores. I know you are aware of my situation, and I want you to know, as a Christian, I do not fear death. The Apostle Paul said, to die is to gain, and that is my sincere belief. I truly wish you and all the best that life has to offer, and I also want you to know I have prayed for you and asked God to bless your life. I also want you to know that you did absolutely nothing to cause me to be in the situation I am in. I alone put me here. No one else is to blame. There is still a chance I could get a stay and go on with my life. But if it is God's will, then I will go on with life in heaven. Angela, keep your focus on God, and you can't go wrong. You truly are a good person, and you deserve everything but what life has to offer. I'll close for now, and now that God truly bless you and keep you in his care. Sincerely, David Gore.
I don't know about that letter. Coming from a serial killer, and you guys know what he did to women and girls, little girls. Could all those years in prison make him feel the way he did in that letter, the apology? I don't know.
Well, I think, I
don't know.
To answer your question,
no. People don't change.
But I think he wrote the letter, I think, because that's what she wanted to know. She wanted him to admit that, yes, they did rape her. And he did. You could hear her voice. She didn't want him put to death. She wasn't a part of that. They wouldn't have been put to death. In fact, they would have been saved from the shit they did because their asses would have been locked up for at least 25 years. But she wanted to hear him apologize and that she didn't lie to the police, that it wasn't consensual, that they did everything that she said. You could hear it. And you could hear it in her voice when she was reading his words. I think that's what the letter did. Because he didn't have a soft bone in his body. Maybe he did find the Lord. Maybe that's his way of trying to get Jesus to believe him. I don't know. But it was what she wanted to hear. So it gave her some peace, thank God, after all those years.
All right, for any of our new murder phoniacs, if you think you know the story of the killing cousins, David Gore and Fred Waterfield, you don't. Not yet. To get the full horror, you have to go all the way back to season 1, May 2019. The birth of MurderPhone. We were new to the mic then. Yeah, we were.
Yeah, we were. Rookies.
Yes, rookies. We still kicked ass, though. In season 1, we recorded 16 episodes about Gore and Waterfield, the killing cousins, where we went deeper, darker, and covered far more confessions you'll never forget, and truths the system wanted to bury. If you want to feel the full weight of their evil, start at the beginning, because season 1 doesn't just tell the story. It makes you live it. Thank you, Dad.
You're welcome. Always a pleasure.
You're the best.
So are you.
Well, I'm okay.
You're the best.
I try. I'm okay.
You're Hillbilly 3.
I'm getting that accent down, aren't I?
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Just dump me in a fucking small town and put some cowboy boots and a hat on me. Watch me go. Maybe a little hay. Here, yeah, how are you doing there, boy? Dad, that brings us to the end of another chapter. Thank goodness. Fucking look at him anymore. So, we're finished with this chapter. Slipping through the cracks of justice, the killing cousins, and Angela Hommell's story. A case that stands as one of the darkest failures in law enforcement history. A warning that went unheard. Unfortunately, until it was too late. But remember when the system looks away, the killers don't stop. They don't look away. They continue to hunt. They laugh. And they kill again. Until either they're caught or they're dead. Join us next time when we bring you a brand new story. One that will once again prove that in the world of true crime, the horror never really ends. As always, take care, stay safe, and remember, always walk in the calm after the storm.
God bless you.
God bless you.
I love you.
I love you too.